Dr. Dave Cresta, author of Jesus on Main Street, is doing some great work out on the West Coast and there's a fair amount actually in Portland, Oregon. We were so excited to have him come out to the East Coast and conduct this case study. He did a wonderful job interviewing members of the community here in Morris County, New Jersey, as well as members of the Bethel AME Church. Dave, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Sydney. So I was entrusted to tell the story of Bethel Morristown Church. What I saw in the course of my research really inspired me and it encouraged me because my mission is to really help churches become more effective in how they interact with their community. So whenever I see churches like Bethel doing amazing things, it gives me encouragement and inspiration that, yes, we can in fact make a difference. The allusion to the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000 in the title of my case study was very deliberate. This miracle story has been a guide for me personally the last several years, reminding me that God is God and that I'm not, and reminding me that whatever impact I hope to achieve in this world is squarely in God's hands. And he really needs nothing more from me than a few fish and a couple scraps of bread to bring good news to our communities. So my research focused on two primary questions. Number one, how can the small, under-resourced church create such significant community impact? And then second, what can other churches, especially small churches, learn from the experience at Bethel? So over the course of several months, I did 2 site visits to Morristown, spanning 8 days in total. I interviewed almost 40 people. I interviewed volunteers, local politicians, board members, local business owners, church members, both past and present. So what did I find? When interviewees for this study were asked what words came to mind describing Bethel and the Table of Hope CDC, the most popular word was community. You see here pictures from the Table of Hope's food distribution. In 2022 alone, 42,000 families received groceries and 18,000 meals were served. This is vital, necessary work. But what I want to emphasize is that Bethel Church and the Table of Hope have not only delivered these goods and these services, but they've established themselves as highly respected, vital community organizations. So I think most people in Morristown and the surrounding area would be very concerned if either of these organizations went away. Think about that. They'd be very concerned if Bethel Church went away. I think very few, if any of the churches that I have ever been involved in my life could even come close to saying that. Question remains, however, how did a small church such as Bethel become indispensable to its surrounding community? And second, what can other churches do to deliver similar outsized impact? This following quote is pulled directly from the case study's executive summary, and I'm going to go ahead and read it and then unpack a few points. So one thing that struck me as I spent time with Sydney and Teresa and the rest of the team in Morristown was that it was really hard to distinguish between the work of the church and the work of the community. I think it's one of the primary keys. In other words, it's not about the church. So this is how most organizations, including most churches, think about themselves in relationship to the rest of the world. Notice who's in the center, the church. If you look at a lot of strategy documents for organizations, they'll be in the center and they'll show all the partners that they have kind of around them. In my book, Jesus on Main Street, I talk about the necessity for a decentered church posture. So what exactly does that look like? If the church isn't at the center, then who or what is? If you look around you, it's the community, and it's the messy set of people, businesses, governments, nonprofits, financial institutions, and yes, other churches. That's where the center's at. When you decenter yourself and your church, that's when the power and the value of a community ecosystem can come into view.